Hey, it's Arlen Schweiger with CE Pro. We have Bruce Kenison, National Sales Director of Garden Light LED here with us. Thanks for joining us, Bruce.
Thanks for having me, and good morning, Arlen.
So, Bruce, we wanted to talk about outdoor technology and specifically what Garden Light LED and the prospects of outdoor lighting can do for an integrator's business. Just to start off, Bruce, can you tell us a little bit about the company for integrators that might not be too familiar with Garden Light LED?
Yeah, sure. Garden Light LED, we're based out of Tampa, Florida. The company was started in 1996. We are a fully integrated company, which means we do all of our own engineering on the mechanical and electrical side. We do all of the assembly work, which is really, really important. What I mean by assembly is all your soldering, all of your potting, all your crimping and heat shrink. The attention to detail assembly is very, very important. We do everything here at Garden Light in Tampa. We do a majority of the manufacturing. We have our own CNC machines. The product, we only make product out of three materials actually, is solid brass, 6061 aluminum, which is actually aircraft grade aluminum. It's very lightweight, but very strong, and also stainless steel. We also do all of our testing here before we send our fixtures out into the field. We test everything right here in Tampa, and we ship everything from our own facility. And we also act as not only the manufacturer, but also the distributor, because we have direct relationships with dealers. So we carry a minimum of 6 months worth of inventory, so we get product out very quickly. But we are fully integrated, so it gives us complete quality control. And that's why we're able to extend the 20-year warranty very comfortably. Because again, we do everything internally, we have control. So we put out a very high-end, very durable product, both on the mechanical and the electrical side. So.
And is it all out? Is it all exterior lighting, or do you do indoor as well, or are dealers mostly going to deal with your company when they have a project that does extend outdoors?
It's really 99.9% of it is for outdoor applications, but we do really have some unique fixtures. So in some applications, especially down in Florida, markets where there's 360 outdoor climate. A lot of times, you're moving in and out of the house very freely. So we do have some of our dealers that will use our fixtures in an indoor environment, but they are
Okay.
made to go outdoors.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and we'll get into a bit more of the specific solutions in a little bit. But first, just in terms of our research shows that the outdoor market has just been going gangbusters the last several years. Obviously, dealers are going to be doing a lot in terms of audio and video and security, and we know about all that stuff, and even extending networking. Why is now a really good time for residential integrators to be getting into exterior and landscape lighting as part of their outdoor portfolio?
Well, I just think if you look at it, outdoor living space in general is really getting popular. Your outdoor kitchens, your pool areas, your landscaping. So I think the timing is perfect. And when I talk to integrators, it's always kind of like, that's your client. You built that relationship. Lighting is also a part of what they're looking for. So why aren't you offering that to your client? So it really goes hand in hand with outdoor living spaces.
Hmm.
And one of the beauties of Garden Light LED is, a lot of your lighting manufacturers, outdoor landscape lighting manufacturers, they carry fixtures really specific to the landscape, to softscape, to plant material, things of that nature. But we, obviously we carry those fixtures, but we also carry some really unique specialty fixtures that are geared towards outdoor living spaces, gazebos, pond areas, outdoor kitchens. But the timing to me is, you see a lot of, even just in general landscape lighting, you see a lot of people spend a lot of money on landscape, but then they don't illuminate it at night, and they're really doing themselves a disservice because the fact of the matter is this: when you light up a landscape at night, it looks better at night than it does during the day because all the imperfections are taken out of it. So, but what we like to say with our dealers is, first and foremost, you're looking to beautify the property, okay? And again, it's going to look better at night than it does during the day. Two is you're going to make it very safe because you're going to have outdoor, stairs, steps, declines, inclines. Whether it's path lighting, down lighting, there's all different techniques you can use. You always want to make sure those areas are very well lit. So you're going to make the house safer, for the clients and also the clients' visitors that come to visit in the house. You're also going to make it a lot safer. The biggest deterrent to illegal entry is lighting. Nobody wants to be seen. That's proven by all, federal, state, local agencies. The biggest deterrent to legal entry is lighting. So you're going to make that house, that property safer. And if you have somebody, clients, both the parents, one of the parents is traveling on a regular basis, they really want to make their house as safe as they possibly can. And to me, it's the big thing is you're extending the living space, because again, your property, you spend a lot of money on the pool area, the outdoor kitchen, the deck area and everything else. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to go out and enjoy that at night. So what we like to say is we're extending the square footage of your house without increasing your tax base.
Right, and those outdoor living spaces are getting it seem to be getting more elaborate and sophisticated and just have so many different areas or zones that dealers will be able to really help provide beauty and safety and all those aspects that you talk about. So in terms of the integrators, what are some of the most common questions they have for you when they're trying to crack into this business? Um, and where do you see that they need the most education to kind of get up to speed with everything? And even if it's showing people that, hey, take a look at your home at night as opposed to, how things look during the day and just, how they're able to really show that off to customers and tell that story.
Yeah, I would say on the technical side, they're going to really understand, installing the lighting system, when we educate dealers on the actual, you know, um, the mechanical side of it, it's very easy. And for an AV integrator, it's going to come really, really quickly. That's not going to be difficult. I would say the biggest deterrent or, and they really shouldn't let it be, is design, how they're going to design a landscape lighting or an outdoor living, area. But, one thing is we spend a lot of time with training. We want to set it up where they come in our facility and we can educate them on that, because at the end of the day, if they're not comfortable with it, they're really not going to go out and promote it. Um, but that's something I would say design is going to be the biggest aspect that they're going to be a little hesitant, but it's our job to get them to feel confident. And we do that by educating, training, working with them on the first few projects. But it's funny is once you educate them, what's your lighting objectives, what are the lighting principles, what are your lighting techniques, the more they do projects, the less they come to you, because it comes really quickly and they feel very comfortable very fast. But I would say that, and then the other part of it is it just how to sell it to a homeowner. And I was kind of explaining that earlier is, yeah, first and foremost, you're going to beautify their property, you're going to beautify their outdoor living space, but again, you're also going to make the home safer, you're going to make it more secure, and you're going to increase usability. You're going to extend the square footage of their home. So I would say the technical parts can be very easy. Design, they might struggle with a little bit, but we're here to help, we're here to support, we're here to train. And then also how to sell it to the homeowner, how to close it and how to sell it to the homeowner. But I go back to it again, it's, for an integrator, they're doing a lot of other things for that client. They built that trust, they built that relationship. There's no reason why they shouldn't include landscape lighting as a part of their product and services they're offering to their client. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about some of your specific solutions at Garden Light LED and some of what you're showing them and the ways that they can take these different areas of the outdoors and really cater something that's very customized to their needs, Bruce. What are some of the in-demand features these days? And also, does everything play nicely with third-party lighting control and automation systems?
Yeah, everything will work off of, we have our own controllers, transformers, photocells, timers, but most AV integrators are going to be working with a controller, whether Lutron, Crestron, or fixtures work off of those systems. So I would say that's majority of what they're going to use. As far as, the fixtures, again, we have a lot of neat little fixtures, very small, fit into tight spaces, are perfect for the outdoor living spaces. We have, the solutions, again, like I was saying before, we have a lot of landscape lighting, as far as uplighting trees and whatnot, but, as far as outdoor living spaces, different beam spreads, different beam angles, different light levels, different color temperatures. A lot of people like static colors. They want, maybe underneath the bar, underneath the countertop, underneath the bar. They want a blue light. We have beautiful, static color lights. That's getting very popular. A lot of people want to be able to dim the fixtures, especially for specific areas. Say a bar area, they want to have, a certain set of fixtures that they can dim. So that's something that, works with Lutronic Restaurant. We have those fixtures. So I think that's what's really going to be popular for the integrators.
Is there any kind of rule of thumb that you found in talking to your dealers that, they wind up installing, we wind up installing these specific solutions here, or, we want to make sure that if they have a pergola that we're going to put in that, or if they have a pool area, they're going to put in this solution, or, if there's a large mulched area with a lot of flora, we're going to use these. Are there any kind of rules of thumbs in terms of what goes where, or do dealers just kind of pick up on those solutions and figure, wind up getting more comfortable with how the design comes about and figuring out what looks best where?
Yeah, part of the training that we do is we talk about what are your lighting objectives, which was, beautify the property, safety, security, and, increase living space. The other is lighting principles, basically what basic principles you want to adhere to. And if you do that, you can't put it in a bad lighting design, because it's kind of like painting a picture. The way, myself, you or, other dealers are going to, design a lighting system, it's all going to be different, but you do want to adhere to basic principles. Like quality and direction. You never want the light shining into your eyes. You want to create depth. You want to make the backyard look deeper. You want the front yard to look, deeper from the house looking towards the road. You want to have focal points. Could be, statuary, could be a pond area. You always want to make that a little bit brighter. You want to maybe make that a static color to make that stand out. So there's different principles you want to adhere to, but that's what we do. We teach people that you want to stay within these principles. And if you do that, you can't put in a bad lighting design. The one thing too is, on the mechanical side, we'll always overbuild the infrastructure of the power supply and also the wire, because, statistically, I can tell you that, 70 to 80% of the times you put in a lighting job, you're going to add fixtures. Lighting is very infectious. People love their landscape outdoor, space lighting. And I've been doing this for 17, 18 years now. I've never seen anybody say, you know what, take some lights out. It's always, can we add more lights in? So with that said, on the mechanical side, we always say we want to overbuild, as far as the wire, power supply, overbuild the infrastructure. And then again is lighting. People love their lighting, so obviously everybody loves to make money, but you know what? It's always nice to make money and also make your client happy. And at the end of the day, when they get their lighting system, they're absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah, it sounds like so your dealers wind up getting a lot of repeat business from their customers then, in terms of just, yeah, they get this one solution, or they want to keep going for it, or maybe even, they've got a second or third home that they deal with that they're going to wind up bringing the lighting there as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they'll want to do the front yard first, and once they see that, they'll say fall in love with that, and then okay, let's do the backyard. You'll get a lot of people in the neighborhood that will see the lighting. One of the beautiful things about outdoor lighting is it's free advertising.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everybody
That's
drives
a
by the
great
home,
point.
sees it, or if people, a client has their friends, coworkers, come to their home and go in their backyard and enjoy it. They look at the lights and say, wow, what did you do here? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of referrals, but there's also going to be a lot of people that just drive by the home. I always tell people, when you do an outdoor lighting system, you always want to put your sign out front. Make sure you let everybody know who drives by the house, that you're the one that put that lighting system in. So, and referrals. And, to me, it's always, again, because people are really, really happy with the lighting system. They absolutely love it. At the end of the night, when you're just, sitting down, you're usually, just walking the property, going through it, and they're absolutely amazed at what you're able to do to their property. That's a really good time to ask, hey, do you have any friends, coworkers, family members that would be interested in a lighting system, that we provided for you? So referrals
Sure.
is a big part of this. Absolutely.
Have you found that some of the designs are area specific to a certain part of the country, in terms of, an integrator in the Southwest might be bringing you a totally different project than an integrator in New England, or
Yeah.
an integrator in the Midwest, or things, or down, in Florida, obviously, where people are going to be either experiencing more outdoors, or they're going to have some very specific functionality with their outdoors, or things like that. And what does your company get jazzed up to see and help integrators out with?
Yeah, that works in a lot of different ways, because obviously in different parts of the country you have different plant material. So you're going to have
Mhm.
different reflectivity in the way that the plant material is going to look. And, you know, and if you're in a year-round market like here in Florida, really the plant material doesn't change, which is a good thing, bad thing, because you're able to go out and use your property, you know, 360 days of the year, or, you know, majority of it, 365. But like for me, like up in North Jersey, we have 4 seasons. So really with one lighting system, I have 4 different lighting designs. And to be quite honest with you, I'm never really too happy in the winter. You know, I actually enjoy it, but now this time of the year, I want the snow to be gone. But the way my landscape lighting looks in the winter for me is my favorite. You know, followed by fall and then summer and then spring. So, so depending on what part of the country, yeah, you know, in Florida, you're going to have, you know, all year long, you'll be able to go out and enjoy your property. But, you know, in other parts of the country, because you have 4 different seasons, you're going to have 4 completely different looks of how your landscape looks, you know, during the year. And also that comes into like the perspective. So a lot of times in the Northeast, when you're speaking to clients, and this is one thing, no matter where you are, you want to ask them, you know, where are you viewing your property? You know, where are you spending most of your time, outside, inside? And you'd be surprised, especially, you know, in Florida, you have a lot of elderly couples that will say, we spend most of our time inside and we want to view it from the inside out. And then you're going to design accordingly. So, so that's really, really important to take into consideration when you're designing any landscape lighting system. So,
Yeah,
but
so
again,
there's a ton of ways that integrators can really show off their value when it comes to creativity and programming and all that, in terms of an outdoor lighting system.
yeah, absolutely. You know, and the more they do, the more they're going to learn. I mean, we have a demo kit, what we call a Showtime closer. It's easy to set up. It's really there to show a client what you can make their property look like, and it works. You know, I would say again, probably about 70% of the time you set up this Showtime closer, you know, people are going to purchase the lighting system. Well, it's also nice for it, especially for integrators, people that are new to the business. The more you set this up, the more you're going to learn. You know, as far as, you know, what is the lumen level you're using? What is the beam angle you're using? How far are you setting that fixture away from the plant material? And the more you set that up, the more you're going to learn. And again, going back to the whole thing, we teach those lighting principles. If you adhere to those basic principles, you can't put in a bad lighting system. But again, it's like painting a picture. Everybody's going to do it differently from the other person. So.
Sure. So in terms of the learning, I know you're talking about your own training that Garden Light LED provides. Do your integrators, do you also suggest to them, do they go through anything like the American Lighting Association certification courses, or anything like that to just learn even more, or are they going to, you know, basically get what they need if they're really working hand in hand with you?
I would say, you know, the basics they're going to get from us. And, you know, best case scenario is if I was out in a project with the integrator, I was able to walk the project with them, because it's really nice because you can walk the property and explain to them exactly, you know, what fixtures you want to use, why you want to use them. You want to create depth. You want to have focal points. You can use different techniques, you know. And when I do that, I usually say, you know what, can we go to a couple other properties that, you know, even if they don't want lighting, so I could just walk through and explain to you why I would design it, you know, this way. Second best case scenario is if we get photos. We can have photos of the property, you know, then that AV integrator would reach out to their inside sales rep at Garden Light. They would show them the photos, the videos, and they'd be able to help them with the lighting design. A lot of times we get plans, and if we get plans in, we can do it, you know, take off and, you know, show them exactly where we want to put the fixtures, which fixtures to use, which works really well. Now we do have some really good training with Janet Lennox Moyer, who's very well known in the landscape lighting business. You know, most architects are going to know who she is. We've done great modules with IES and Jan Moyer. But if somebody really wanted to take their lighting design to a whole nother level, that's available. But we're going to continue to train and educate, you know, do more webinars, more seminars, you know, on lighting design. But again, the best case scenario is if I can go out and do a site visit.
And then it sounds like it's something where the integrator might already either have a project come to them via a lighting designer or landscape lighting designer or landscape lighting architect. Do you find that most of your dealers are already going to have these kind of partnerships, or do you help them kind of foster some of those relationships as well?
I would say in most cases, they're not going to have those relationships. When that would happen is if the client has a relationship with the landscape architect. And if that's the case, then all three of us could work together. But I would say for the most part, for an AV integrator, once they're able to get trained on landscape lighting design, they really don't need to use a landscape architect. They can use us as their designer. But again, the more they do this, the more they work with us. It's amazing, I've trained so many people that, for the first 6 months for a year, I'm out there working for them, showing them how to design, and then all of a sudden, I hear less and less, and the next thing I know, I'll hook up with them 2, 3 years later. Then I learned something from them. You know what I mean? That I never thought of previously because they're out there, learning on their own, installing projects, designing, and it's funny how that works. But yeah, I would, as far as the design aspect, we're a huge resource for them as far as how to go out and design a proper lighting system. But again, they have to get trained on it.
All right. Well, Bruce Kenison from Garden Light LED, we really appreciate you running through all of these different scenarios and different things that the integrators need to know. It sounds like it's a hugely exciting time for the outdoor lighting business. So thank you very much for shedding light on this topic.
Yeah, I think it's only going to get more and more popular, and I'm really excited to work with. Garden Light is really excited to work with AV integrators. We think it's a huge opportunity for them. So it's all about getting them the comfort level so they can go out and promote it, with confidence. So, and that's what we're here for.
All right. Well, thanks again, Bruce. We really appreciate it at CE Pro.
Great. Thanks all. Have a great day.